In one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Lagos, there lived a man who trusted no one. Not his workers, not his friends, sometimes not even his own family. People feared him, not because he was cruel, but because he was always right. Or at least, he believed he was. But one mistake would change everything. Mr. Adewale didn't become rich by trusting people. He built his empire from nothing. Every deal, every contract, every partnership, he controlled everything. His house reflected who he was: clean, silent, perfect. Everything had order, everything had rules, and anyone who broke those rules was gone. No second chances. Among all his workers, there was one person who stood out: Ngozi. She had worked in his house for 2 years. She was quiet, always respectful, never late, never complained. Even when others were tired, Ngozi kept working. But there was something about her, something hidden, something heavy. Every night after work, Ngozi would sit alone outside the house, holding her phone, waiting. Then she would send money, every single week, to someone. No one in the house knew why, but Ngozi had a reason she never spoke about. One morning, everything changed. Mr. Adewale walked into his private office. Something felt wrong. The air, the silence. Then he saw it. His safe, slightly open. He froze. Slowly he walked closer, opened it, and his heart dropped. Money was gone. Not small money, a large amount. Gone. Immediately, his mind began to calculate. Who had access? Who entered this room? Who knew about the safe? The list was short, very short. Driver, assistant, Ngozi. He called them one by one. The driver, calm, confident. "No, sir, I didn't touch anything." The assistant, nervous but steady. "I would never do that, sir." Then Ngozi. She walked in slowly, head slightly down, hands shaking. "Did you take the money?" he asked. Silence. Her lips moved, but no words came out at first. "No, sir," she finally said, but her voice trembled. And that was enough. In Mr. Adewale's world, fear meant guilt, weakness meant guilt, hesitation meant guilt. "You are not supposed to be fearful if you didn't do anything," he said coldly. Ngozi's eyes widened. "Sir, please, I didn't—" "I don't repeat myself." Tears rolled down her face. "I didn't take anything." But he had already made up his mind, and just like that, Ngozi was gone. That night, Ngozi didn't go home, because she had no home. She sat by the roadside, holding her bag, crying quietly. The money she used to send was for her younger brother. He was in school, the only hope she had left. Now, everything was gone. Back at the mansion, everything returned to normal. Or so it seemed. But something was off. Too quiet. Too empty. Days passed, but Mr. Adewale couldn't ignore it. Something didn't feel right.
At first, he ignored the feeling, but it kept growing. Why did the safe look untouched? Why was there no sign of force? Why didn't anything else go missing? And most importantly, why did Ngozi's words keep echoing in his mind? "I didn't take anything." One evening, his assistant rushed in. "Sir, you need to see this." Security footage, a hidden camera. Not many people knew about it. They played the video. Mr. Adewale leaned forward, watching carefully. Seconds passed. Then a figure appeared, opening the safe, taking the money. His face changed instantly, because the person on the screen was not Ngozi. It was the driver, the one he trusted the most, the one who had worked with him for years. Calm, loyal, reliable, or so he thought. The room went silent. Mr. Adewale didn't speak. He couldn't. For the first time in years, he had been wrong. That night, he couldn't sleep, not because of the money, but because of what he had done. He had destroyed someone's life without proof, without patience, without listening. The next morning, he fired the driver immediately. But that wasn't enough. He needed to find Ngozi. He sent people out, asked questions, checked records, but she had disappeared, like she never existed. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, but he never stopped thinking about her. Every quiet moment, her voice returned. I didn't take anything. One afternoon, while driving through a small street, something caught his attention. A crowd. People gathered around a small food stand. He looked closer and froze, because standing there, serving customers, was Ngozi. She looked different, stronger, confident. There was no fear in her eyes anymore. People were smiling, buying her food, respecting her. She had built something from nothing. Mr. Adewale stepped out of the car, walked slowly toward her. Ngozi. She turned, and everything paused. For a moment, neither of them spoke. I was wrong, he said quietly. I'm sorry. The words felt heavy, unfamiliar, but real. Ngozi looked at him, then smiled, not with anger, not with pain, but with peace. It's okay, sir. That day changed everything, she said. I had nothing left, no job, no home, no support. So I started cooking on the street. Little by little, people started coming. And now, she looked around. I'm okay. Mr. Adewale stood there in silence. He came to fix a mistake, but instead, he found something greater. Strength, resilience, truth. That day, something changed inside him. Not his wealth, not his power, but his heart. Never judge people too quickly, because sometimes the person you doubt the most is stronger than you think. And sometimes the mistake you make becomes the lesson you needed.